Oh, yeah. Who's excited? Good to be back with everybody, albeit the most quintessential Detroit day ever, gray and rain. Hopefully everyone's got their power. What a yikes. I picked a good week to disappear, huh? We got a lot of ground to cover, and we're going to make today the Golden Rules edition. And you go, well, what the hell does that mean? I'm going to tell you. Each hour, I am going to unveil a golden rule, and then we'll settle it in the 5 o'clock, because I think a felony was committed on this show last week by Rico Beard. We'll talk about it. I think a felony was committed by two coaches, one that helped a local team and one that hurt. And we've got new golden rules in baseball. So here's what we're going to do. David, I'm not going to tell you what's behind each door. Oh, and by the way, we're in a playoff chase. Just FYI. MWH for the first time in a decade. You know what that is? Must-win hockey. These next two against Ottawa, did you just hear that update? A 22% chance swing in the Wings' odds if they can go on the road, get it done tonight, and then take care of the double dip.
I'm about to sound like David over here. Oh, my.
Right. Get involved. So, no, look, we've got a lot of ground to cover. So here's what we'll do. Door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. Not telling you what's where. Consider it the Curly Shuffle. And I want to lay out these rules. We got football today. We've got a catch-up segment. Lots to do. David, pick a door.
Let's go door number 3.
Done and done. All right, let's begin. Door number 3 represents coaches trying to get fired. So whether it helped Michigan yesterday when Greg Gard didn't follow this rule, or whether it hurt Michigan State when Tom Izzo didn't follow this rule, I would like to advocate that this now has to be a fireable offense. If you do not foul up 3, under 10 seconds left in a basketball game, you should be fired. Greg Gard of Wisconsin yesterday, Tom Izzo on Saturday. Guys, what are we doing here? Seriously? There are golden rules in sports, like you know when to go for 2 or not, right? Generally, you know when to pull the goalie. You know the rules of basketball. You know when you have to foul. You know when you have to, hey, I can take the quick layup. I don't have to shoot a 3 here. There are rules. I did an episode of Cash Ticket a few weeks back, Tony Stubblefield, DePaul head coach, up 3 with 2.6 to go and didn't foul. Got beat. Izzo, up 3, doesn't use a timeout, doesn't foul, and Tom Izzo still believes he's right. And then yesterday with Greg Gard. Guys, I want to know if there's any opposition to what I'm saying. Is this now one of the new golden rules? If you are up 3 and you are playing defense, you're late in the game, you have to foul. There's no argument that could be made to where, oh, well, what if you foul? What if they make both? Then they foul, you miss both. Then you didn't deserve to win in the first place. And that is an infinitesimal chance based on your designing inbounds plays and substituting rosters to put your best free throw shooters in there. When I send a guy to the line who makes 84% of his free throws, the expectation is you're making those. And if you don't, it's on you. But you know what I don't do? I don't leave it up to hope. Hope is not a strategy. Hoping your opponent doesn't hit a 3 to tie the game and send you to overtime, that's not a strategy. That's stupid. Greg Gard made a stupid decision. Tom Izzo made a stupid decision. And let me add this, if I may, because Rico's not here today and I can get away with this. But you know what? There needs to be some criticism of Tom Izzo. Okay? Like, it's fine to critique Juwan Howard. People talk about it all the time. Can we get an article about Tom Izzo, who's running a 500 program in the Big Ten the last 3 seasons? Who's got out of the first weekend once in like 7 years? And I know, guys, I know what COVID took from us. I know. They might have won the whole damn thing. But the point is, MSU is nothing more than a 500 team in the Big Ten who can't close a road game if their life depended on it. Can't close. Neutral site against Gonzaga. Can't close it. At Indiana. At Rutgers. At Iowa. Can't close. They can't do it. And it's like Tom Izzo cost them. It was insanity. I mean, the inbounds plays were insane. The decision to not foul is insane, and it's something that Tom has said he doesn't believe in fouling. And he's going to do it again. I'm telling you a new golden rule in sports. If you're up 3 and you don't foul, you need to be suspended. Take a day off. You need a mental health day to learn about math. I want to know if this qualifies as a new golden rule, because I've got 3 of them today. 248-539-9797. And if you want a sidebar on this deal, yeah, I got to tell you, next year is kind of important for Tom Izzo because MSU needs to do something. Like the whole January, February Izzo routine, you can put those T-shirts away. And this side, look, I just come from a place where you don't go 3-4 years without winning the conference or at least threatening it. Go look. MSU's basically turned into 500, even Steven, an average-ass program. No NBA talent, no players anybody cares about, and no toughness. Oh, I know you can't say that. Oh, my God, the kids. Well, first of all, they're not kids. And second of all, they're not tough. What they did at Iowa, not tough. Not closing out games. It's a lack of toughness, mental or otherwise. Not being able to grab a rebound, toughness. Not being able to guard anybody, toughness. Not knowing your assignment, going under screens, toughness. MSU's entire calling card is toughness. They haven't had any in years. Argue it. It's okay to say that Tom Izzo not doing his best work. Full stop. So I'm offering you the golden rule, and I'm offering you a sidebar conversation. 248-539-9797. David, you are a man of rules. That whole damn good book is full of them. So go ahead. Is not fouling up 3 on late stages added to, you're not going to covet thy neighbor's wife and the rest? Is it a golden rule?
I would say it is a golden rule. Let me just bring you into my life on Saturday. It was it was my middle son's birthday.
Well, Saturday's fun night for him. He always says it.
Stop it. So Saturday was my middle son's birthday, so we're hanging out, doing things for him, giving him his day, and I saw that Michigan State was up 12, and he's a Michigan State fan, and I told him, game's over. Michigan State won, and he celebrated on his birthday saying, great job, Michigan State. Until I looked later on and said, oh, no, how did that happen? Found out how it happened.
Yeah, Tom Izzo bleeped in the mashed potatoes.
And then to see the same scenario play out in the Michigan game.
Greg Gard.
And I'm like, okay, now what are these coaches, are they thinking? Because Greg Gard had a timeout. Michigan set up a play. You tell your players the strategy.
That's right.
And you did not do it.
Izzo had a timeout too, David.
Unbelievable. Yes, it's a rule.
It's a golden rule.
You cannot allow that to happen.
Like, it should be treated no differently than if you get into a fight and, like, if you punch an opposing coach, Juwan Howard, you should be suspended. If you don't foul up 3, late stages, timeout in your pocket, I think you should. Tom should have to sit out a game at Nebraska here this week. It's unfathomable. It's math. And look, it helped Michigan, it hurt Michigan State, vice versa. It makes no difference.
Correct.
I'd say the same damn thing about Juwan that I said about Tom. You never go full Stubberfield.
See,
never.
And you said it's because you don't hope, okay? Hope is not a strategy here. You're not going to say, well, let's just hope he doesn't make the 3. Because as a Michigan fan, I'm watching at the end of the game, and I'm like, well, it's over. We're just going to do free throws here.
That's right.
We're not going to get a chance. It's going to be like 0.5 seconds left or whatever it is after you foul. It's just not going to happen. And then it happens, and I'm yelling and screaming in the house, oh, my gosh, because it should never happen. Should never happen. Golden rule, foul, man.
So this qualifies. I think the over-under was set at 1.5 today if I could get these golden rules passed. But what happened in college basketball this week, and by the way, again, without Rico here, I can say this without being slandered. I think Michigan's a lot closer to being in than people realize. And I know many people don't care. I get it. David, the win against Michigan State, the win against Wisconsin, I know they are grinding them out. I get it. David, they're a couple wins away, whereas if they lose to State, if they lose to Wisconsin, it's totally over.
Yeah, and I get that.
They're in the mix, David.
And I know in a field of 68, you have to have mediocre. I heard Cookie say this earlier this morning, and he's right. You have to have a lot of mediocre teams, and Michigan would be that. I just don't think with all the games they've been close with Purdue and Indiana and Wisconsin on the road, and then they lose those games, I can't see them in the tournament.
Then what's really the difference between them and us? MSU hadn't closed a road game out all year. Go look at their losses.
I hear you. And by the way, that game will not be made up against
the problem,
Minnesota.
Yeah, and I know the reason why. And you'll probably have to listen to the 5-Star Zone to get like a geek breakdown. But basically, Rutgers doesn't want to play ball. So a great example, and this is Izzo's fault. Tom was the good guy during the COVID season, and he's going to reorganize his entire schedule, get the games in. Yeah, and he took 3 automatic losses by doing it because of, integrity and Big Ten. Well, then when the favor needs to get returned by Rutgers didn't want to move one game. One. That's why MSU's not getting to play Minnesota. Well, you know what? That's why Tom should just be a prickly pear and be done with it. Don't be nice.
Well, then he should have done it in his press conference today because he said, no, it's not Rutgers' fault.
Well, because he always runs cover.
You kind of need to go off, don't you?
He should have. But you know what? He doesn't have a leg to stand on after what he did at Iowa. Thank God I couldn't watch that game. Thank God that was not available to me in the part of the globe I was in. I honestly. And people can't blame me. Rico told me people were reaching out to him like, did Mike turn? Nah. Oh, Uncle Mikey ain't got nothing to do with MSU doing what they did. So you leave me out of that.
And I wondered that because they were up 12, and when I looked back and they lost, I said, Mike must have turned the game on.
Like hell, David.